Hi there, Pavilions. This is Nick Goldschmidt. I'm the winemaker of Goldschmidt Vineyards, and we have two wines that are only sold at Pavilions in Southern California, and they are the 2+ wines. One's from Game Ranch in Oakville, and one's the Yeoman Ranch from the Alexander Valley. So what are the differences and why are they so unique? Well, firstly, we put a lot of energy into both of these vineyards. They're both farmed regeneratively, which is one step beyond organics. In organic farming, you can use discs and do a lot of brown earth technology, but we want to have regenerative farming where we just use weeds and we control vigor of the weeds through what's available. The main difference between organics and regenerative, though, is that in organic farming we measure the inputs. In regenerative farming we measure the outputs, and so we know exactly what we got. So what about the wines themselves? Well, they're called plus because I only make, this is 40+ years of winemaking experience goes into these wines. This is not something that I take lightly or can do easily or very easily repetitively. I usually make 6 to 7 barrels, and we usually bottle only 3 to 4. So let's go through the 5 differences between the white label and the black label of both wines. They're both the outside rows. So the outside 2 rows of the vineyard are more vigorous, so they have more canopy and less crop. So they're basically undercrop vines. So if you think about quality being lower tons per acre, that's what the plus wines are. Secondly, they spend 30 months in barrel instead of the 24 months, so a little bit longer in barrel. The third thing is every 2 days I use Delestage. Now, we worked briefly at Penfolds when I was a young kid. And so what we do is we take the wine out of the tank for a couple of hours and then we put it back over the top. So we have a spike that we put the wine back in through. We do not rack and return. We do not pump out of the bottom valve and go back into the racking valve because I do not want to break up the cap. The fourth thing we do is we increase the complexity, and that's a combination of the yeast and the bacteria that are left residually in the wine. And what happens is in really high-end wines, we can actually, we look to increase this yeast and bacteria, and then we can control it so that at the end of time, we get this beautiful complex and a lot of sort of black licorice, black spice, and a lot more weight. If we just did it normally, I would see a little bit of ethyl acetate, a little bit of acetic acid, which are things that we don't really want to see in wine. So using this technique, we get a great balance and a lot of complexity. And then the last thing is the way we drain the tank. It takes us 2 days to drain the tank. It's kind of a proprietary method that I like to keep to myself. But if you try them side by side, they are quite different because one obviously is from the Oakville region and one is from the Alexander Valley region. But these are the ultimate prizes of both appellations. Fantastic wines. Only 3 to 4 barrels are released at any year, and still great value when you compare against our neighbors. Salud.